You are listening to Visionaries Wrestling Network, providing your perfect podcast experience.
M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Betcha.
This is the MGB Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG-rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages. Hi, my name is Mason, and here's proof that wrestling fans still live with their parents, my co-host, my dad, Graham.
Alright, this is B3, Calling All Girls, our review of Nova Pro's event from March 9th, 2019, from the Annandale Volunteer Fire Department. Doors open at 7:30 and match starts at 8 p.m. Now, we should actually say there was actually two events on this day, and we're actually recording them out of order. We decided to record the main show first, and B2, which will be coming out probably in about a couple of weeks, will be the show that was called Applause, which was the tryout show. So we said doors open at 7:30. We got there about 6:50, Mason, so why so early?
We got there so early because there was a 2-hour gap period between the Applause and Calling All Girls, so we took a long time at Burger King. We came back, watched for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. I think last year there was only like an hour's gap. We had to rush kind of a bit. We went to Subway and then we came straight back. And yeah, there was a lot more matches last time. So yeah, there was a bit of wait. And it was cold as well this year. So yeah. I don't mind the gap in between, but you couldn't really walk around outside. But we certainly could look through the window. Did you see anything in between?
I saw a Terminator made some speech or something. He was like on the top rope and then everyone else was just on the apron. And then he was just writing a speech, and then the one guy just came in. It was like one of the guys that direct you to where to park. Uh-huh. He came in, and then the guy started shushing him.
Oh, he did. Yeah, I forgot about that part. Now, you know, I thought it was Trip Cassidy who was in the ring.
Yeah,
Trip Cassidy was there.
Oh.
He actually went home. He had a 10-hour drive to go back to his own promotion the following day. But no, you were right. It was Terminator. The boy on Twitter actually has a new hashtag. He's like, Mason is right, or Mason was right. Because I thought it was Trip Cassidy, and Mason thought it was Terminator, and you were right. They confirmed it was. Trip Cassidy apparently was sat on the merch table, and I was like, did he at least move across for like 2 minutes? And I was like, I don't think so. Anyway, so you got that one right. I'm going to claim I didn't have my glasses, and it was kind of dim, and it was difficult to see.
Hashtag Mason was right about the coffee, too.
I should have realised I thought it was a beer. Perhaps anything to do with Terminator. I'm just not very good at calling.
Oh yeah, another thing I noticed during the tryout show, in between the Calling of Girls, the whole time Harlow was just doing makeup. I saw her. She wasn't even paying attention during the tryout match, and when we got there, she was still doing a little bit of her makeup.
In the ring?
No, like on the next to...
But not in the back, though, where you could see her?
No, it was where all the bell and the sound stuff was. She was just sitting there doing her makeup.
Oh, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah.
Now, this one was kind of different. Normally, we like to kind of get there a little bit early so we can pick our seats. We already had our seats saved because we were already at the pre-show. We'd left stuff on there, which was perfectly okay. Oh. And also, we got in quick as well because we already had the wristbands as well. Normally, they line us up in like different rows, and we just like, here's a wristband, and then once the doors open, we can get straight back in. So that was pretty quick.
I have another thing. Savage Gentleman was talking to Frank, and he held up Mayday sign. The one that was like, I hope you all get signed.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When was that?
While we were still outside.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that at all. Okay, so once we did get inside, was anybody selling any merch, any pre-matches, anything to talk about?
Actually, we were surprised that there wasn't any pre-match.
I can't remember. I don't remember the last time Nova Pro didn't have a pre-match. I know that was the first thing that I knew. On that first event we went to, I didn't know much, but I did see a review and someone said, make sure you get there early, because there's always pre-matches. And there always is. And actually with that 2-hour wait as well, and then an extra half an hour. Yeah, it was a little bit much. We were sat around, and nobody was out selling merch either. But we sat around, we talked about the events coming up and different things, so it was fine.
Actually, I was sort of glad that it didn't go to 6 o'clock, or else I would be starving.
Yeah, if it had run late, that was the only thing. I said the same thing. I kind of didn't mind that it ended a little earlier than last time, because, yeah, I'm normally hungry around that time.
Another thing, you could bring food and drink in, I think you said.
You could for the other one, because they weren't selling food, but not for this one. Now, we got a correction to do. Maddie corrected me on this one. From the last one, from B1, I said that Terra Calaway and Jeff Cannonball were married. They're just partners. They certainly have been together for a long time, but no, they're not married. And actually, I should have known better than assume that anyway, because I actually have relatives who've been together for over 20 years, and they're not married either. Mm-hmm. So I should have known better to assume that. So I certainly want to make sure I got that correction in as well. I think Maddie said they are getting married at the end of this year. I think. Oh gosh, I should have paid more attention. I should have written that one
That would have
down.
made sense, because Terra Calaway is retiring soon.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she might have time to actually do that rather than traveling around the country wrestling. Now, before we even get started, Victor Benjamin actually came out and started to cut a promo. Before he even got a chance to speak, there was a chant of, "She said yes, she said yes." All right, what does that mean, Mason?
Victor Benjamin proposed to Lady Frost, and she said yes.
And that was another one. I assumed they were married as well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stop making assumptions because it's really dangerous to do things like that. Now, he came out and he said he's the ace of Nova Pro, but Eric gets the main event Born to Run. So he wasn't very happy about that. So he wants the match at the Ox Brewery to decide who gets the main event at the WrestleMania weekend. Now, I actually wondered about that. That's on all the posters that Eric Royal is doing that. So that makes me wonder then, is Eric injured? If they're trying to put anything that could possibly switch that match, is Eric actually injured? It's possible. Or if he's not injured, there's no way that Victor Benjamin's winning. I can't see them why they'd want to switch
He might have
that.
another event or something.
No.
Well,
you look on your calendar. You wouldn't sign up for two things if he's
True.
already signed up for that. Unless something came up like he'd been signed by AEW or something. But they're not doing any events anyway. Or something. If WWE came up, obviously, you'd go to that. Something happened. So I guess that's a possibility.
Well, I guess you're already there. So you probably still would wrestle.
I don't know. Well, WWE doesn't let you wrestle any other events. They keep you where you are.
Match 1. Veda versus Christie Jaynes.
On the announcements, Lolo was unavailable for this one. I think the name was... I got Molly McCoy. I didn't ask you what you had,
I
Mason.
think that's what it...
That's what you got too?
Yeah.
Buff Ref got such a pop that it was hard for Molly to do her announcements. Everyone's there like, Buff Ref! Everyone really gets into that, and Todd's there trying to quieten everybody down, but that just makes everyone do it even more. Anyway, match 1 was Veda Scott versus Christie Jaynes. Christie got a huge welcome back. I know she had an injury. I know she was part of, what is it, Team Pow Meow? Is that what it's called? With Alicat? Alright, what have you got for this one?
So Veda Scott and Christie Jaynes they both come out with glasses on, and then Veda claims that Christie's has no lenses, and that they're fake, and then Veda...
I agree with Veda.
Yeah, I didn't see any lenses, but Veda goes under the ring and gets some huge glasses the size of her head. It was like absolutely hilarious.
They were big.
Yes.
Yeah, they were. I think Jackson has a pair somewhere. He already did at one point. I know he bought some. I don't know where they ever went, but we had a pair similar to that. And actually, Christie starts trying to sell that story because she would take her glasses off, and then she's like reaching out with her arms. She's like, "Whoa, who's that?" touching Ref, and then putting the glasses back on and going, "Oh, it's you, Ref." So she was trying to play with it, but.
And so Christie Jaynes kicks out, and then Veda gets her into a crippler crossface, which was. Well, actually, I think isn't crippler crossface just basically like an arm bar and like when you pull your head back?
It's got several different names, like the STF.
Yeah.
Well, there's like a few
That's what
different.
I was thinking.
I always think of the crippler crossface because I always think of Benoit. That was when I first saw it. I think
know.
it depends what era you watch, but
All I hear is when you talk about the crippler crossface when I started watching wrestling, and then that's the only time I've ever like heard of it that way. And like I've heard.
Well,
like,
you know, for obvious reasons, they don't want to bring up Benoit anymore on WWE. But for me, it just sort of ingrained. Whenever I see that, I think of him, and I think he had the best version of it as well. Now, I got a few other things, actually. We talked about the glasses. In the match as well, Veda got kicked, and she's like, I didn't see that coming. So they were doing lots of sort of links in with that. And also, Christie Jaynes got poked through her non-glasses as well. So if she had proper glasses, obviously it would have hit the lenses, but she got poked in the eye as well. And actually, that blinded her for a little bit. And then if you remember, she had her eyes closed, and she's like, I can't see. And I think she did a drop kick, was it, or something? But she certainly, and she's like, did I get Veda? And she did. She got Veda. She was trying to kick her, and she was swinging. She was also swinging wildly at nothing for one point as well. So there was some other parts to do with that as well.
Veda, she kicks James's injured knee.
Yeah, that was one where
And
she had
that's happened recently on Raw, or at Fastlane. Becky Lynch's leg is still injured, even though that happened at Royal Rumble and it didn't even look anything that bad. She just got pushed off the steps.
That was nearly 2 months ago.
Exactly,
yeah.
and they just keep on doing it, and then...
Although, I'm saying that, I had a very minor ankle injury, and 2 months later, I'm still in pain, so it depends on how quickly it recovers. I don't know. It depends on the severity.
I doubt that she'd be able to wrestle with...
Well, I'm not buying Becky's injury anyway. We just watched Fastlane last night. The move that Charlotte put on her, the submission move, if she had any injury, she would have tapped out, no problem at all. She had a lot of torque on that, so yeah. I don't think it's 100% on that.
Yeah.
So she did attack her from the top rope where she was. She dragged her down, and that was pretty much it. She pinned her 1, 2, 3.
It looked like a stunner, sort of. She did like that. The ending.
Kind of reminds me of Randy Orton's move, but I don't know what it's called.
RKO?
It was like high. No. When their feet's on the ropes and they drag them off. But
it's like the DDT when their feet are on the second row.
Yeah, but except it was from like the top. It was from the top turnbuckle, so I'm not quite sure. That's all I got for this one. Unless you got anything else.
No.
Match 2. Lady Frost versus Laynie. Look.
Ref nearly slips on the way in, and that immediately started botch ref. So I thought that was kind of funny. They had buff ref, and now they got botch ref. Now, I'm going to talk about the intro a little bit. We talked a little bit more. I was going to do more about the intros, and you're going to do more about the wrestling. The mathematician in me got into this straight away. Lady Frost weighs in at 10,000 snowflakes. Now, I was curious about that. I was like, that doesn't sound like anywhere near enough. Snowflakes are really small. They don't weigh very much. I looked it up on Wikipedia as soon as I came home. Each snowflake weighs about 0.02 grams. So each pound is 4,750 snowflakes, which puts Lady Frost at 2 pounds. So I'm going to guess that's not true. I'm not going to try guessing a lady's weight because that would be impolite. But Lady Frost, you need to up that number a little bit. 10,000 is way too few.
Like 1 million, maybe? Or that might be too much.
That's way too much. That's 200 pounds.
I'm not a mathematician, okay? I'm in 5th grade. I thought it would be like 1.
So you want to scale that down a little bit. But yes, so somewhere more than 10,000, but definitely less than 1 million. I'd be quite happy to do the math if you'd like me to work it out exactly. Laynie Luck also got a huge welcome back because we haven't seen her in a while as well. I'm not sure if she was injured or what happened with that. All right, what about the match?
Laynie Luck tries to teach Lady Frost how to dance and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Lady Frost, she tries to... Well, Laynie Luck tries to teach Lady Frost how to floss. Mm-hmm. And she just does her little dance and bow or whatever. Uh-huh. And then she tries to teach Lady how to whip. Uh-huh. And then she just did her little dance. And then that's just...
She actually started the flossing because the crowd was clapping, which normally they start walking around the ring and then they start... And then they actually got Laynie just to start doing her flossing thing. So she kind of switched it around a little bit. Oh, Lady Frost also complained it's wrestling and not dancing as well. Yes. So they eventually did get started, but she played along with it for a little bit.
Laynie Luck and the Lady Frost get, jumbled in my mouth a little bit.
It's very confusing trying to read them out. Somehow there seems like there's a lot of L's there. And even with Jackson trying to read that, he wanted to say Lady Luck, and you could tell it was kind of confusing for him. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
I heard the commentators also just watching this random video. I think it was best pay-per-view matches, and they said Lady Luck, and I thought they said Laynie Luck.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is confusing.
So Savage...
That would be a great tag team.
Yeah.
Lady Frost and Laynie Luck. Lady Luck. That would be a perfect tag team. All right.
So Savage Gentleman gets kicked off the apron and then he starts lying on some fans' laps.
He did. Yeah, he was lying on Mayday's lap. He was right on the front row. We actually avoided all that stuff somehow. Yeah. Normally, we sat right front center. Normally, at some point, somebody's going to do a suicide dive and someone's going to be near us. We didn't even have to move at any point for this one. We kind of avoid that. Now, I think it's a little before this. Laynie Luck was on the offense. She was running the ropes, and actually Victor Benjamin grabbed her legs and sort of dragged her down to the ground. So I think that was part of it. I think in response to that, she got up and then kicked him, and I think that's what kicked him to the outside, I think.
Oh, yeah, I forgot something on the intro I wanted to say. So I just noticed Mayday's drawings that he did one for every single wrestler, and they're all really good.
They're amazing. Yeah. I'll have to show you. He's actually got a picture of all the pictures together. Mm-hmm. I said if he ever made them into like merchandise, like those wrestling cards we had last year from Nova Pro, I'd go absolutely broke. They're brilliant. They are so cool.
He should do that.
Yesterday, they kept appearing on my Twitter feed, like a wrestler would go, "Thank you for giving this drawing to me," and you'd keep seeing them every few hours. Somebody would see them. It was really cool to just keep. Yeah, they were great.
So the Savage Gentleman starts. Lady Frost, she does a snowball, and then Victor Benjamin. Well, he like dives into. He like rolls into Laynie Luck, and then Victor Benjamin starts yelling snowballs. He starts throwing snowballs at trying to hit Laynie Luck, but she ends up hitting Lady Frost more than Laynie Luck.
You know what you just said? I just looked at my notes. Huh? I put 2 hit Lady Luck. I even wrote down the thing you just said where you keep getting them mixed up. I meant to put 2 hit Lady Frost, and even I got suckered into writing that down without even concentrating.
Yeah.
As far as I could tell, they were like cotton balls or something.
I think they were like styrofoam.
That would make more sense. Cotton balls wouldn't really fly at all. But I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a cool little thing. I have nothing for this match at all in terms of the ending.
Laynie wins. So I didn't get the ending. Because it was like right after the snowball, so I was like scrambling to write that.
I had a couple of things where I looked down and I heard the cheer and I was like, oh, I saw who won, but I didn't see exactly. Like, I assumed it was a pin.
Like, you could hear her Lady Luck's music, and then you could like see her dancing and all that stuff.
Like, if it's tap out, you can hear them. So you assume it's a pin, but you just don't exactly know what led to the pin.
Match 3. Hara versus Solo Darling. Is that the Wrestling Dog's owner?
That is Wrestling Dog's owner, yeah. What's his name?
I forgot.
Officer Magnum.
Officer Magnum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he accompanied her to the ring. So we'll just leave you, as soon as you recognise that, we'll leave that in there. Solo Darling, we felt kind of embarrassed. Jackson just talked about Officer Magnum. We got so excited last year when I went to the concessions. When I came back and I saw the Wrestling Dog was signing autographs, and I didn't know it was Officer Magnum at that point. I got you straight away. I was like, quick, let's go and get an autograph. We totally ignored Solo Darling, pretty much. We were just...
I'm sure she gets that all the time.
It's possible, I'm sure, because that dog is really cute, and I just thought it was a really unique autograph, and we just never asked her at all. So it's been a while since she's back, so that was one that was on my list that I really wanted to make sure
I think she said that all the autographs that Officer Magnum makes goes towards Officer Magnum.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means it pays for his food.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Or something like that. And also, it sounds like we got in at the right time because he doesn't do autographs anymore.
Yep,
She's got
he just paws prints.
She's got a paw print which you can stamp on the ink and then you can push onto the picture. So we got kind of a unique one. Actually, we should get one of those for Jackson, actually. I didn't even think about that. And we did get Jackson a t-shirt, but we'll talk about that probably more at the intermission time, I think. Actually, that shirt looks so big. It looks like he's wearing a nightshirt. That was the smallest size, adult small. It's huge on him. But
I think I wear an adult small.
You do?
Yeah.
He slept in it last night because he made it very clear. It was like first night, he's like, I want to sleep in it, and he did.
Yeah.
And he loved it. He thought it was great. Oh, Solo Darling. Great performance against Josh Briggs in a loss at Beyond at the end of February because I saw her in that. Willow was also in that same event, but her tag team partner, I don't remember what the team's called. Something in Bird and the Bee.
Bird and the Bee.
Yeah. Willow got injured and then she's out now. Harlow's debut was actually a year ago.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, remember she was at the tryout show?
Oh, yeah.
Because she was calling Aspen Rose and that, like, Cheerio or whatever she called them. Blue Fruit Loop. Oh, Fruit Loop.
That was Harlow.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Blue Fruit Loop and things like that. And then she also appeared in the evening show as well. So, yeah, Harlow's been around for a year now. It's like, wow. I think she's really come on as a character as well. I thought she was good on the tryout show, but now she's like a really solid character.
I don't know who's gone bigger, Savage Gentleman or Harlow.
There's another person who came in from that show as well from a year ago. Yeah, there's some people made some really big progress since that.
Alley Cat too.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's been some big names come through. All right, what about the match itself?
So somebody yells out that Solo just had her birthday, and Harlow yells, "I don't care!" And she dropped an F-bomb, and Buff Ref points at me and gestures me to cover my ears.
Oh, he did? I didn't notice that at all. Oh, I think that's great. I got some stuff before that, actually. There was guys who were complaining. You know how the cameramen have to walk around the outside because they got to film it, or the others will take pictures and that? There was a couple of guys shouting out, "Obstructed view! We can't see. I'm like, okay, we get it. It's part of the match. I'm wondering if these guys had never been to an event before or something. Like, if they stood there the whole time, I would understand. But when you're there for like 30 seconds or 20 seconds and you move to another position, they were being a little bit obnoxious about that as well. Now, also, before that as well, there were some big kicks by Solo Darling as well on the outside. I got some great pictures. My little phone, all I got was my phone. I was taking one. I timed them perfectly just as she's kicking Harlow, and they look really good.
So we have the advantage on the camera side because obviously nobody would take pictures in front of that.
Correct, because there's no reason to. Yeah, that's another good reason for sitting on those. I'd especially be giving away why we want to sit on those seats. Someone else might want to do that, but yeah, you're not the one that's videoing is not going to move in front because it's pointless because there's a fixed camera already there. So it's just the photographer who's moving around for that one.
So after that, Harlow's on the outside. Well, both of them are on the outside, and Harlow says it's her Solo's last birthday.
She did say that, yeah. Oh, I put no more birthdays for her. I couldn't remember the exact phrase that she used. I did have, when she went back into the ring, Solo was doing brutal kicks. She was kicking her from the front, then she was kicking her from the back, and she was kind of like, I don't know if you remember the Jordan Grace one when she gets her arms like either side and hits her from the front and the back. It was kind of like that, but with her legs. And Solo's got some big kicks in her. You could really feel those, I thought. Also, the crowd, I haven't seen this in a long time at Nova Pro. The crowd was really split. Normally you get cheers for like Alley Cat is really popular, and you hear Let's Go Allie, things like that. This was Let's Go Harlow, and then immediately the other side started up with Let's Go Solo, and it just went back and forth like that.
I think that's good for both, better for the wrestlers than one-sided, because you're putting your other opponent over too.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was very clear that both of these were popular wrestlers, and the crowd was really loving the match as well. And I totally agree.
Didn't you say that Kevin Q lost his fanny pack too, just like Harlow?
Uh-huh.
That's just cruel that you take wrestlers who don't earn much anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty mean. It's pretty bad that someone did it, but you don't know who did it, or it's, I don't know. It could have just been knocked to the floor and then somebody could have picked it up by accident, or I don't know. There's a whole host of things that could happen. Do you have the finish?
I think Harlow did like an O'Connor roll or roll-up.
I just put Harlow wins. Solo got a Please Come Back. She had 3 matches at Nova Pro last year, but actually the last one wasn't until the Commonwealth Cup. So it was a long time ago. So that was June. So I'm going to guess in 8 months, it's possible new people have come. And there definitely is because I see it on Twitter. And they just haven't seen Solo Darling before. But yeah, she's certainly impressed. And I know that she's one that does come back periodically. Now, Solo actually got carried out of the ring as well by Buff Ref. Because she got injured and he just basically picked her up. And that's going to be important for something that comes up in one of the later matches as well, which is why I thought I would mention it. Chris Wolf, Solo Darling, and Taya Valkyrie had a match against Joey Ryan in Bar Wrestling 31 Day 2, which is only about a month ago. We have a subscription to watch Bar Wrestling, so I thought that might be a match you might want to see.
Isn't Taya Valkyrie Johnny Impact's wife?
Yeah, she's also currently the Impact Women's Champion as well.
Or girlfriend?
No, they are married, actually. That I definitely saw. No, that one I definitely saw. No, I thought it was still Tessa Blanchard. I'd missed a few episodes, I guess. I tried to catch up the other week, and then I was like, oh, she got the belt on there. I watched like 3 weeks in a row, and I guess I must have missed one in the 4th week or something. I'm not sure if it's a 3-on-1 match. I'm not sure if it's a fatal 4-way, but any match that's got Joey Ryan is probably going to be entertaining.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, that Impact guy should have been on there. Here's your week.
That would have been pretty funny for that, actually.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
That would have worked better if he did that for a Joey Ryan match.
Match for Laynie versus Leva Bates.
The first and current at Capital Wrestling Women's Champion, the current Victory Pro Wrestling Women's Champion, and the current at Wrestling Magic Women's Champion. That's from the pin post from Ariela Nix. Or actually, that might be from her profile. I can't remember. There was no Gator Pit either, which was kind of weird for this one. Most of them had already gone over to MCW for the evening matches, and I don't think there's another female wrestler on the Gator Pit. I think it's just Ariela.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, she was pretty much by herself for this one. I did find a few things for Leva, and we want to thank Leva for that, because I put out on Twitter, I was like, oh gosh, I thought it was Leva, but I heard some people saying Leva as well, and I was like, oh god, I have no idea.
I probably would have said Leva, and then I started, and then I heard people say Leva.
Yeah.
And then I was so confused, and then you started saying Leva too.
I assumed they were right. Now, we talked about that handle thing, that when you, in America, it's called a lever, but in England it's called lever. So I assumed with it being American, it was possibly was Leva. Anyway, I asked on Twitter, because I was like, somebody will probably know, because I'd heard of her, but I didn't watch independent wrestling at that time, so I didn't know her as well as other people. And actually, Zachary Shiloh tagged her in the post, and she was cool enough to respond, and she did say that it was Leva. So we do have that one correct. Leva was trained by the Dudley Boys.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Okay, Mason, anything for the entrances or the match?
So Leva Bates, she comes out like Logan, dresses him.
Because his music played.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's Logan. And then, Leva Bates came out.
And so, like, Logan's streak goes on, and so for the tryout show, his streak goes on too. So that's basically it.
Now, I got a quote from her on Twitter. Lending a helping hand and keeping Logan Easton LaRoe officially at every @VA wrestling show. Am I now part of the 1% community? I am tonight. #Blue%.
That reminded me, a good match would be the whole Gator Pit versus the whole 1%.
That would be a pretty good one. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Yeah. I like that idea. Now, that #Blue%, because I looked it up to see, the last time anyone used that as a hashtag was October 2016.
Yeah.
It was Catherine Webb, and she said, A3, I like the classic blue Cool Mint Listerine, but I want to try the less intense zero products. So, obviously, #Blue% was a brand new hashtag in terms of reference to this. We should have said Leva was actually wearing Logan's pants.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were going to mention that specifically, but that was kind of how she got that look going. Now, I wasn't quite sure. Was Logan actually at the pre-show? Or is that one we should talk about at the pre-show, though? He was there.
Yeah,
was he on commentary?
Yes, he actually was.
So technically
I have proof that he's Logan.
So technically he was part of the show then, anyway.
I have like a whole host of proof. So we see Logan walking in with boots, the same boots, with like little dots on them.
He might have been carrying them for Blank.
With little dots on them, okay? How is this for proof? I see straps hanging from Logan. Blank has straps.
Oh, come on, Victor Benjamin has straps as well. No, I think you're right. And even, like I say, even the owner who was sat there was making comments that was making fun of it, clearly being Logan. I think everyone knew it was, but I thought that was kind of funny as well. As the match starts, Leva actually does that 1%. She lifts her finger up, and the crowd actually starts cheering, better than Logan. I thought that was kind of funny as well.
So there's lots of no's for the Ariela Knicks fans, and there's lots of yeses for the Leva Bates fans. Someday I'm just gonna say Leva. I can just tell. And there's like a big war but there's like a whole more to Leva, right? Leva? Okay. Leva fans than Knicks fans, so the Knicks fans just end up quitting. They were like right behind us, so they were like, okay, I give up.
Now, in the ring as it was going on, and I wasn't sure, was it an attempt at a submission request? Because she was like, yes! And she's like, no! Yeah, I couldn't tell that.
Oh, yeah,
they did a Bugs Bunny thing. It's like a classic Bugs Bunny. It was like, yes, no, and then she repeated, no, and then she was like, yes. She's like, she lost. So she had to admit defeat on that. I thought that was kind of funny. It was like she tricked her.
I remember when I was like 7 or 8, Mom did that to me. I was like outside on the porch, and then I'd never heard of the Bugs Bunny trick before.
It is funny. It was hilarious. I remember that happening. Ariela retained. I thought she actually looked better without the Gator Pit. Now, I would actually like to see her more as a wrestler. We talked about those 3 different championships at the start that she held. I only ever think of her in relation to the Gator Pit. And I tend to think negatively of that because obviously they play heel characters. And often you get interference from Coach or somebody like that. With nobody to do that, I was really impressed with Ariela Nix. I thought she looked really good in this. I would like to definitely see more.
Something weird happened today. So on my Kindle at school, I was searching Siberian tigers for one of the research things we have to do. I was just clicking on one of the YouTube videos to see about the Siberian tigers, and World of Women's came up.
Oh, I wonder if that's one of the characters or something.
It wasn't even the Siberian. It had a picture of the Siberian tiger, and then it had like the press button. I pressed it, and then it comes up to Women of Wrestling.
Oh,
I just heard about that recently.
Yeah,
and it was
we were
so
talking
weird.
about that actually in when we were waiting to get in for the show a little bit because we knew some of the characters in that. Now, okay, if you don't have, do you have the finish then?
No.
I just put Ariela retains. Okay, Coach Gator tweeted, "Very disappointed I wasn't at today's @VA wrestling shows, but you haven't seen the last of me." Nix responded, "The crowd missed you very much." Did they? I don't know about that. I don't remember anyone complaining that Coach Gator wasn't there particularly. Sorry, Coach.
Mayday complained because he made a sign for him.
He had that in case. He said, I don't think he's going to be here. Oh, yeah, he's going to laminate it so he can't rip it. I got a few details for Leva, okay? Because I knew that everyone was really excited by her, but like I said, I didn't know her background at all. She was the SCW Women's Champion for 1,351 days. Now, you said you're not a mathematician, but you know there's 365 days in a year. That's way over 3 years. That's pretty impressive. I like this one. Have you heard of Shine Wrestling?
Sort of.
She was the Shine Tag Team Champion in 2014 with Mia Yim.
Ooh.
I'd kind of like to go back and see some of those. I think that would be a really good one to watch.
Question. For the one that she held for 1,124 days?
1,351.
Oh. Was that, show, one every year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Normally they're, once a month or something. Or she's not, I don't think
it's
she was...
It's not, 2 every year.
Even if it was. I can't imagine you'd have a belt if you only did it twice a year, because they're kind of expensive to get. Mm. All right, then what about this one? CCW Ladies Champion for 1,721 days.
Okay,
That's
I know that.
That's a long streak right there. That's over 5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a really long streak there.
Some wrestlers don't even wrestle 5 years.
And last month, she lost the ARW Bombshells Championship after 336 days, so nearly a year. So you can see now why there was such a big hype when it was announced that Leva Bates was going to appear. She's obviously been around for a while if you've been held a championship for nearly 5 years. I gotta say, we weren't watching independent wrestling at that time, so I just didn't know her as well as that.
Match 5. Penelope Ford versus Allie Cat.
Maddie, I got some good news for you. Your worst streamer at Nova Pro might have been beaten. All right, Mason, do you want to go describe it
So
for
what
me?
happened was you were grabbing the streamer, and then you held onto it too long, you just threw it at the floor.
It didn't even get halfway to the ring, I don't think. And we were front row as well. We were in the same seats where before. It was awful. And actually, I could go and pick it up. They didn't even bother knocking it out of the way or anything. I just picked it up at the intermission, and I could use it again later. It was pretty bad.
It looked like you were spiking a football.
It went up into the air. I didn't throw it straight down, but it just didn't go as it was supposed to. All right, Penelope Ford. We've talked about her before. She was trained by others, Drew Gulak.
Wow.
So there was a couple of other famous people as well, but that was the most famous one.
It was Castlegate Pro. Somebody else, I can't remember, trained by Drew Gulak. Mm-hmm.
She's the current WSU Tag Team Champion. And when I looked this up, it was 666 days. Ooh, sign of the devil. Okay, anything from the intro, Mason? All right, what do you got for the match then, Mason?
I was so into this match. Is it just me, or
was this the one where you got, I don't have anything, and this is why I started
this one
writing
in the
notes?
next match, but
I actually started writing
is
notes.
it just me, or am I the only one that writes Alley Cat with a K?
It is with a K.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
No,
I
you're
just
not
started.
the only one.
I always wrote with a K. I just don't know why. Ever since I could remember, I wrote
you have
with
a poster of her in your room, so I'm sure you've
Oh.
seen that card. So
I
that's
don't
got
know.
a K on it as well.
I remember.
No, you're not the only one that writes it with a K. I can guarantee you that.
Penelope Ford, she pretended she had a cold, and then she was like, "I'm allergic to cats."
Yeah, she said it was allergies, which I thought was pretty good. But she said she's going to keep her coat on as she has a cold. Of course, that's a virus. That has nothing to do with temperature. But hey, we know why she did that. Because later on, she took the jacket off and she showed her leopard print, and she says, "Look, I'm a cat too." I like that. I thought that was kind of clever.
But she actually was coughing I think she actually had a
She
cold.
probably did.
She probably
I'm
had a
sure.
cold.
I know one thing when I said anything for the intro, Mason, I thought you were going to mention, which is why I didn't write it down. You were really excited about the fact normally you get high fives from wrestlers, and you didn't get to do this last time, so...
I got to pet Alley Cat's head, sorta. She just comes by and then you slap her head, sorta.
We don't slap her head.
Well,
you slapped her head, you did it wrong.
No, I just
You're
put
supposed
my...
to, pet her.
Yeah, I just put my hand out and then she comes running.
Okay.
So it feels like you just slap her head even though you're just putting your hand there. Because she runs at so high, so much speed.
Uh-huh. Alright, what else you got for this match?
I'm doing this full-on memory.
I can do it. I got stuff. I think this is one where I heard you say I don't have anything, so I was like, I'll start writing. Instead of doing a test of strength, they did pause of strength. Go with that whole cat thing again. Penelope Ford went to the top rope and did I'm a bad girl. She did it 3 or 4 times. Drop kick from the top rope. My goodness, that looked like that really hurt. Penelope Ford really, I don't know the right word for this. I put flippy. Like all the little flips she does, and the handstands and stuff, and then bouncing off the ring. And that.
I think lots of people do that. What? Didn't you say that Stone Cold Scorpio or something like that?
Too Cold Scorpio?
Yeah, Too Cold Scorpio.
Who was at Nova Pro?
Yeah, no, he created all those flips and all that stuff.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Or he was like one of the first people to do it.
I think he did a lot. I don't remember him that well.
Like, how long has he been wrestling?
I don't know that.
I don't know
that. Anyway, after she was doing a flip and she bounced back off the ring, Allie went for a hit, missed, and then Penelope Ford got her with a stunner. There was another I'm a bad girl, cross press, kick out at 2. The craziest reversal of a submission attempt. I don't know what happened. Alley Cat looked like she had it locked in, and somehow Penelope kind of sneaked backwards or something, got it, like, and all the crowd were like, whoa! And then they go like, I can't even explain it. Do you have any idea what happened? She was like
bridging, and then her Alley Cat loosened her legs a little bit so she could slip through.
It was still amazing. Yeah. It was absolutely crazy.
It's like the magician that we used to watch. It was like, he like did some crazy things. Death by magic.
So it was one of those where you couldn't believe it. Okay, I got you. And clothesline by Alley Cat, 1, 2, 3. And chance, of course, for both these girls. I don't think it's going to be for much longer. I'm not quite sure when Penelope joins AEW, but you could see why they'd want to sign her.
Oh, yeah, the thing you really showed me with when MJF proposed to Alley Cat, sort of, was that real or not?
What do you mean, is it real?
Like, was it a real proposal? They just didn't finish it, or?
I don't think so. If it was, that was the meanest proposal ever. Because he then took her out, and then went and tried to get the pin. I don't think he did get the pin in the end, but no, I don't I hope not. I know he's a heel, but that would be like the worst heel moment ever. No, she tried to slap him after that. She was not impressed
I remember, so we were reading Daniel Bryan's book, and then they were filming it. He told the camera crew that he was going to say, like, this code word when he was going to propose to Brie Bella. And then he didn't even say the code word, so they had to scramble so quickly to get that. It was like, he was like...
He forgot?
Yep.
All right.
Intermission.
So, a few things. We went to see some of the wrestlers. Before that, though, and I got to ask what his name is, Snack Saber Jr., you were still hanging back a little bit. I went over, I saw him, so I went to shake his hand, say hi to him, and he's like, oh, I got something for you. And he told me what it was, and I was like, oh my gosh. Well, sorry, not for me, for you.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mason, get over here. So, go ahead.
So he gave me a Davey Boy Smith Jr. autographed shirt. It was really cool.
It's really cool. It's a really nice shirt.
I don't know what to do with it right now. It's just sitting on my desk. I don't have too much room in my room, but I'm sure I can.
Because we talked about if you wear it, then, like, the ink might fade.
I don't really want to wear it.
We got to think of some way of presenting it. Or I think you can wear it, but you can't wear it like every week. It can't be like your favourite shirt. Yeah. It's got to be one that you wear occasionally.
Right now, my favourite shirt is Roman and Brock Lesnar when they have like the stats and all that stuff. That's my favourite shirt right now.
So you can wear it, because obviously your autograph shirt that we have for Nova Pro, but you only wear that like once a month. So that gets washed, but then the autographs sort of stay. So, I don't know, but really cool shirt. You knew who that was because you obviously watch MLW. I talked to you a little bit about the fact it was the British Bulldog's son as well, which obviously meant a lot to me as well.
It's not like somebody's fake, who's like the fake son. Yeah, it's actually the real...
fake son?
No, like they pretend it's like Josh Fuller and Mac Buckler.
Oh, I got you.
And Dudley Boys and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like they pretend to.
Just clearly.
Like they pretend to, but they're legit.
Okay. All right. We got 3 autographs. This was kind of a tough one because there were several people. Leva was one who I was interested in as well, but her line was just so long that we didn't really get to that one. All right. Do you want to tell us whose autographs we did get, who we talked to?
We got Kimberly. Then we went over to Gemma Cross, and then we went over to Solo Darling.
We did. And we'd already talked about Solo. Kimberly we saw at Flying V. Was just really impressed with. Now, I was about to say, and I know her match is not up yet, that it was her Nova Pro debut. It wasn't her Nova Pro debut. She fought at Nova Pro last year.
Oh, she did?
You know why it didn't stick with us, though?
No.
American slang. We were in England.
Yeah.
So we watched it, and that's why I knew I'd seen her matches on TV. Yeah. But I've also seen her on TV as well, and I've always been impressed with her matches then. But that was part of the reason, so I was...
Oh, yeah, I was amazed that she came for all the way from Seattle.
Well, I don't know if she came all the way from...
Well, technically it came from all the way from England. So did you.
Correct. So that might just be...
It's not like you traveled. It's where you were born.
Correct. Gemma Cross, we got an autograph from as well. We saw, I think it was about a month and a half ago. I know she had car trouble. We'd seen her before a couple of times, and it was an autograph we knew we were going to get. So we said, next time you're at Nova Pro, we'll make sure we get a picture from you. And Solo, we already talked about. Once again, love the fact the hustle and bustle were great. I mentioned that people asked, did you like the Nova Pro event? And I said, I loved all the people there. Trying to get a picture with the people was really difficult because there was so many people in that area. People buying merch, people getting pictures. I think it makes that event so much cooler. I think it's great for the wrestlers as well. Obviously, they're making a little bit of extra money that way. But I just think it makes that event really good when there's a lot of people trying to buy stuff. So I thought that was really good.
Match 6. Quinn Mckay, Avery Rose, Gemma Cross, Gabby Gilbert, Kasey Catal, Russell Bay.
Okay, so Jackson just told us about all the women in the 6-women scramble. Kasey Catal was, I put stuck in the 90s when I wrote down the thing, and I know that was also on Mayday's poster as well. I thought Wrestle Bay, I think her name was Beverly, but I couldn't really tell. And I certainly couldn't find her whole name. Gabby Gilbert, on Twitter it said, I am glamorous Gabby Gilbert, one half of the most colourful tag team today, Rainbow Bright. Because she was wearing a whole assortment of different colours. And also, for all the names that I got, I've got to thank @Dave Muscarella. I saw him post every single name, because we were missing names for this one. Some of them were like, did they say this? And did they say that? We knew Avery Rose, because we saw her from the tryout show. And we knew Gemma Cross, because we'd seen her before. And some of the others we weren't quite sure of. You actually got Gabby Gilbert. I actually had the wrong last name when I wrote that down. I had something close to that. I do love Quinn Mckay's Twitter name. Quinn it to win it. Yeah. I think that's really cool. I think that's really clever.
Yeah.
Tell us about the format or anything you noticed in the intro,
Mason.
Isn't
Quinn Mckay part of Impact, did you say?
She's training right now with Ring of Honor, I think it said, up in Baltimore. Yeah. So, as far as I know.
So, I get those two mixed up sometimes. This is another one where I don't have anything notes, but I have a pretty good idea. I remember that there's some on the outside, and then they kept doing scuba dives and more scuba dives.
You quoting Jackson right now?
Yeah.
All right. That's our phrase for suicide dives, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then they, I don't even remember the order. I just kept remembering, whoa, and then there was like one last one.
It sounds like your memory's not as good as you think it is, if that's all you got. Wrestle Bay had Gabby in a headlock, and she was going to the crowd, say hi to Gabby. I kind of like that one as well. Rainbow took out everybody, and that was why I was asking if you wanted to explain the format or anything. It certainly wasn't Lucha tag rules or anything like that. She took out one person with a clothesline, and the next, and then by the end, everybody was on the floor. And I don't have much else as well, because there was a lot going on. They sort of took it in turns. There was 2 of them in, and then there was like another 2 in, and then the last 2 were in, so they all had their chances. And Quinn got the pin for the win. Probably a few too many rhymes there, but anyway. Buff Ref pushed Gabby out the ring. She was on the floor, and he pushed her. He basically rolled her out the ring, and she sort of like crashed to the floor, which the crowd chanted, "That's not cool." He went out to help her, and they tried to get her. It's like, pick her up. Like they did with Solo Darling.
I got confused a little bit on here. I wrote Michaela wins, and I was thinking the Michaela from the tryout show.
That's what I thought when you said Michaela. No, it was Quinn Mckay. Yeah, Michaela Matrix was the one from the early one.
Match 7. Terra Calaway versus Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi's nickname. Do you remember, because we got Shotzi's autograph at Fury Pro, do you remember what she wrote on your picture?
#eat pizza?
Yeah, her nickname is Pizza Cat. Well, that's one of them. I'm going to guess you don't know. Do you know her second nickname? This is according to Cage Match. You do?
The Baldy BA.
Oh, okay. Well, she actually has 3 nicknames then. That wasn't listed.
Who's your daddy?
No. Her third name, and I'm going to use the word that you use, Mason. Her third nickname apparently is Joey Ryan's Dingo. I have no idea why that comes from. I read that on Cage Match, and I was like, I don't even know. I have no idea why that would be a nickname. I'm so annoyed I didn't know that before. I want to ask Shotzi right now, why is that your nickname?
I want to ask Joey Ryan about it. Does he know
Why
about
does Shotzi have that as your nickname?
Does he know about it?
I have no idea. I knew Pizza Cat, because I remember hearing that one, and I forgot the one that you'd mentioned, but Joey Ryan's Dingo. Anyway, Match, go ahead. The reason I don't have much else is we've talked about Shotzi and Terra multiple times, so I don't have anything particularly new to add except for that nickname.
Shotzi tries to roll up Terra Calaway twice. But she just sits down, misses one, but connects on one.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually tried for a third time, and it actually worked. And I was like, well, that's going to be the end of the match. And it wasn't. She was kicked out at 2. I thought that was surprising. It looked like they set it up deliberately. Like, she tried it, didn't work. Tried it, didn't work. Tried it, it worked. And she didn't. Before that, I have Shotzi ran straight into Terra, and it was just like a brick wall. She just bounced straight off of her.
Yeah.
Shotzi's main error in this match was she tried to jump from the top rope, and as you like to say, high risk, high reward, except it wasn't because she missed. And that pretty much was the end of the match.
I remember one thing that Terra Calaway, she missed like 2 cannonballs.
Uh-huh.
And it's somewhere I can't even read this last thing on my notes. It says someone said Taddy safe.
Taddy
safe.
And you made fun of me for not understanding mine. I have no idea what that means.
I don't either.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that means at all. After Shotzi missed from the top row, Terra capitalised and she just pinned her 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all I got for that one.
Match 8, Kimberly versus Faye Jackson.
Alley Cat defeated Kimber at American Slang, and like I said, I just totally forgot about that match. That might be one I'd like to go back and rewatch, actually,
Yeah.
I think that'd be a pretty good match. We did see her against Samantha Heights at Flying V. A year ago, she was on NXT, Kimberly. I did not know that. I did not know. I can believe that.
Yeah.
She was a couple of different names. She went under Abby Lath, and this is when we weren't watching NXT
And she wasn't
as well.
a jobber?
That I can't tell you. She also appeared as Kimberly Frankelli. I think that's how you pronounce it, which I think is her real name. Kimberly, because it's Kimberly.
Yeah.
Mainly house shows, though. So she didn't appear on a lot of the ones. She was on NXT for all of 2017 and the first 2 months of 2018. She was also in the quarterfinals of the Mae Young in 2017, and she lost to Mercedes Martinez.
Oh, we saw her.
We did, yeah, we did see that. So, yeah, Kimberly obviously was wrestling at a very high level, and you can really see that in her wrestling style. I actually gave her a rating on Cage Match. When I start researching these people now, if I haven't rated them, I've started giving them a rating. And I think Kimber's ahead of most of the people within her group. You can tell that she's
grouped?
a slightly better... No, in terms of the Nova Pro people. Like the people who we see her wrestle with, I think you can clearly tell she's a better wrestler than some of them. So she's probably been wrestling for a little longer. She was probably at that training center. So I think you can tell that she is a better wrestler.
Uh-huh. And you're not one of those cruel people that rate people like 2 stars?
Yeah, I saw one and I was really annoyed. I can't remember who it was. Somebody's average rating was like 4. I was like, that's ridiculous. So I went and gave them a solid rating, but I don't know if it's going to... Now, it could be if they're early in their career, then perhaps they are still learning, they're not quite as good. But yeah, there's some really mean ratings out there. But no, Kimber's was pretty strong,
So
actually.
it's basically anybody could just rate?
Yeah, you just got to sign up.
So it's basically the Wikipedia of wrestling.
Pretty much so, yeah. It could be. You could just get all your friends to go on and rate you as a 10. You can normally tell if you have lots of 10s though and lots of 3s, then clearly it's your friends who are voting for you. There was one person, and it might actually have been Kimber, I'm not sure, actually had 10s, 9s, and 8s, and it was pretty solid. You could see that. So, yeah, sometimes it's insightful, sometimes it's not. Also, if you only have 3 ratings, I'm not going to give it much credence. If you got 50 ratings, then it's certainly more credibility to that. Now, I'm going to talk about... You talked about my streamer, so I'm going to talk about your streamer. I actually passed it over to you, because I said, look, I did such a bad job, you go ahead and throw it. You threw it, and it barely made it into the ring, just as Kimber turned around. Hey, let me finish. And it barely made it onto the edge of the ring, and the crowd goes, oh! And then Kimber heard that, and she turned around, looked, saw it was on the floor, picked it up, started wrapping herself around it, kind of like Alley Cat does as well. And then she said, I can't get out now. I'm sure she
See,
can,
I
but
told
it's
you
kind of
I throw the best streamers.
There you go. There were welcome backs for Faye, because she wasn't at the last event. I think she was in Germany, I think she said. Or she certainly was, I think she was out of the country at the very least. I noticed you said you saw Solo Darling was on commentary for this one.
Yeah.
I think you also said Veda Scott was on commentary for an
she
early
was on
one.
commentary.
So
for
a lot
one
of these,
thing.
when they weren't doing the wrestling, they were also doing
I
some
saw Frank
commenting
was
as
on
well.
commentary.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, I didn't notice that.
It was on the tryout show, I think.
Oh, okay. All right, what do you got for this match?
Do you thing chance to Faye, I remember. And Kimberly got thrown into the chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I remember during Castlegate Pro, I think it was Bad Bones got thrown into the chairs, and his head almost dipped into some nacho cheese.
WrestleGate Pro.
WrestleGate Pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I got one thing before that actually happened. That whole thing actually reminded me of Nick Gage and PCO at the Commonwealth Cup last year.
Yeah.
It was kind of very similar how they went around.
Yeah.
There was a really loud computer sound.
Yeah,
And
that happened twice.
It did. That was the second one. I don't remember when the first one was because it was like, okay, it happened. But when it happened the second time, and the crowd started chanting, "You got mail! You got mail!" I thought that was kind of funny. They were just making fun of them. That's kind of like the old. I don't think it's that specific sound, but
Isn't
it's
there
certainly
a
an
movie
old
called
computer
You
sound.
Got Mail?
I think there is. Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else from the outside?
Faye shoves a hot dog in Kimberly's mouth.
Now she tried. Did she get it in?
I don't know. I couldn't see. All I could see was a hot dog, and then
They went over to the concession stands. I couldn't see that either.
And it reminded me of Savage Gentleman and Eric Royal.
From the last one?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll go all over the place. Kimberly suplexes Faye.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm surprised that Kim does a swanton bomb pile driver to Faye for the win. From Faye.
Okay. Okay, do you want to read that one again?
Okay, so
I'm looking at my notes and then
Kimberly
listening to you.
suplexes Faye. Kim does a swanton bomb and then pile driver from Faye for the win.
Correct, yes. And it reminded me of Jeff Hardy because I
Yeah.
put that in while I was doing that. But yes, Faye dropped Kimber on her head is what I have. 1, 2, 3. I got a quote from John Kerman, actually. The only thing that disappointed me about the Nova shows yesterday was Todd, that's Buff Ref, not eating that hot dog at the end. I think the fans asked him to like eat it or take a bite or something like that. And not surprisingly, he wasn't going to do that. One other thing I do have...
Tommy Dreamer did that one time. He threw a fan's hot dog on the floor, and then he stomped on it and said, "You gonna eat it?" He took a bite, and then another fan took a bite too.
I saw that. Where did we see that? I don't
It
remember.
was we were watching. We were looking for Kurt Angle or something like that. It was like we were looking at Kurt Angle or Eddie Guerrero, and then we saw Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, okay. Oh, because it was part of that same match. Okay, I remember.
It was part of the same event, but
I got you.
yeah.
I got you. Yes, I remember that now.
We saw Tommy Dreamer, and then I was like, "Oh, I want to see that."
I did see AAW wrestling. MJF versus Kimberly.
Oh,
That was last month. That's another one I would really like to see as well. I think that would be a great matchup. Yeah, all these people that don't like intergender matches, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's some absolute great ones. All right, and that was the last match. It was finished much earlier than normal. This was done by, it was just after 10. I think it was about 10:20. Just over 2 hours. If you take out the intermission, it was 2 hours of wrestling. And it was actually the night when the clocks went forward as well. So I was kind of glad to get back a little early. Anything else to finish up with?
I think it was the longest time I ever slept in. I woke up at 9 o'clock.
Which
But
is
it was
8.
really 8.
Yeah, and I got up a little early because I think I heard Jackson starting to bang around. But yeah, no, I was glad we got back a little bit early. All right, I think that'll do it. And then actually, like I said, the next episode will actually be the previous event to this, which was the tryout show. And hopefully that should be out in a couple of weeks' time.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/.
You are listening to Visionaries.